1993-94 season, the first home match. Saints being led out by matchday mascot Philip Hand, 6 years of age. He attends the Brook Lodge County Primary School at Rainford. He's come out with captain Shane Cooper. His favourite player is Bernard Dwyer. He enjoys colouring, also riding his bike, and his main interest is watching the Saints. Well, the Saints just doing the limbering up movement, just waiting for the Salford side to come out now. Salford Lady Physio just in your picture there. And the Saints side for this afternoon, if they can give them you before Salford come out. At full-back, David Lyon. Quirk, Riley, Loughlin and Sullivan are the three quarters. Tommy Martin making his debut for the Saints, along with John Griffiths, the half-back pairing. John Neal, Bernard Dwyer, George Mann in the front row. Chris Joynt, Phil Beavers, Shane Cooper the back three, with Gus O'Donnell and Adam Fogarty on the bench. And there's young Philip Hand, matchday mascot, just to Shane Cooper's right. Here he is on his own now. Big day for this young fella, only 6 years of age. Must be a big occasion, obviously out there in front of a decent crowd, I would say. Perhaps not as many as the Saints would like. Also welcome to everybody in the boardroom, the sponsors' boxes, the lounge, even in the development office now, who have our broadcast piped in. And don't forget, call at the souvenir shop after. Plenty of new items in, and I'm sure the staff will, Marion in the shop there, she'll only be too pleased to help you. Just tell her I've sent you. So still waiting for the Salford side to come out now. Here they come. Their side led out by captain David Young. And their side for this afternoon's clash, player coach Gary Jack at full-back. Tex Evans, Jason Critchley, Scott Naylor and Phil Ford are the three quarters. Stephen Blakely and Michael Neal are the half-back pairing, with David Young, Mark Lee and Jed Stasiker in the front row. Paul Farber, Ian Blease and Andy Burgess, the back three. Martin Burkitt and Tony Howard are on the bench. Robin Whitfield's the referee. Saints without Tia Apati, the ever-present from last season. Also without Alan Hunt and Sonny Nicol, who got on the wrong side of referee Morris last week at Hull Kingston. A dismal performance by the Saints, and they'll have to put it to right this afternoon. I would imagine the air would have been blue last week. The Saints have got to get back into winning ways. I know it's only the first game, but you've got to hammer these sides really. You're talking about Hull Kingston Rovers and today's opponent Salford, finished 13th and 14th in the league last season. And then, as I say, Uncle Morris changed the goalpost. They was all right. They knew they wasn't going to be dropped down to the second division. And Hull Kingston Rovers had a few hammerings. Salford was 70 points the wrong side of Wigan, when all didn't matter. Well, there's the two mascots, lady mascot for Salford and our own Saints mascot, Philip Hand, 6 years of age from Rainford. Big day for this young fella and that young lady. So ready to get underway. Saints to kick off, playing down to the sponsors' boxes, the clubhouse, the restaurant end. Also today, British Gas, who are sponsoring today's game, along with our regular sponsors, McEwen's Lager. We wish them all a pleasant afternoon. Salford have the early possession. Gary Jack came to Salford as player coach. Kevin Tamati They're getting the big E. And here's Paul Forber now, ex-Saint, along with Mark Lee there. Forber had a testimonial here at Nosey Road. Then tried his hand elsewhere. Salford picked him up, and he's got plenty of years left in him, I'm sure. Good player for the Saints, and no doubt he will be for Salford. Back for the kick upfield, Steve Blakely. Boots it well upfield. David Lyon takes it in the in-goal area. He comes round, but solid tackling from Salford. Ian Blease, one of the tacklers there, final man to get off the tackler, but Tony Sullivan is taken in possession. Saints will have to move it quickly. At the play of the ball, John Neal driving downfield. Last week at Kingston Rovers, Andy Dannett was being interviewed, and talks of him coming to Nosey Road being imminent. As George Mann gets the ball away to Chris Joint. But talks of Dannett coming, and in the press last week there was talks of John Neal interest in Wakefield. But certainly Neal is a player we can't afford to let go. A good grafter, especially with having Kevin Ward injured as well. Last tackle in the sequence. The ball back to David Lyon. Gary Jack will have to turn around, but I don't think it'll matter. It's run dead. And Salford will restart from the centre of the 20-metre line. Mark Lee, I would imagine, will get things going. 2 minutes gone. No score at present. Neal and Beavers. Beavers left out to the side last week after he'd had an impressive display in the A-team. Well, a forward pass there. Must have been a yard forward. Referee Whitfield, well, obviously it must be the season for letting forward passes go. Mr Morris didn't pick much up at Kingston Rovers last week, and Robin, our friend Robin from Widnes, didn't pick that one up. Solid tackling centre field, and that's going to be the order of the day. 2 and 3 tacklers in on the man, bounce them to the ground, make the tackles felt. Good running by Shane Cooper, closing Blakely down. He chips it through. Lyon again with Les Quirk on his outside. Lyon takes it crossfield. Nice to see Les Quirk in the action again. A firm favourite of mine is Les Quirk, as Andy Burgess has taken a knock there for Salford, and Salford are struggling far forwards. Also David Lyon, he's took a knock as well. George Mann pushes the tacklers off, releases the ball. Saints keep it moving. John Griffiths now into space. Oh, unlucky Griffiths, tried to release it. It's all on, the ball's gone back. Oh, dear me. Well, he's got that wrong, hasn't he? That's only two wrong in 3 minutes. The ball clearly coming back there, but referee Whitfield saying that it was knocked forward. Andy Burgess being treated. The referee has stopped the game. And the lady physio gets on, but he's all right now. Saints physio Jeanette Smith. She's been on treating David Lyon. Salford feed the first scrum. They get a clean heel. Move it quickly crossfield. Scott Naylor. Well, he passed it off the floor, and then that was a knock on as well. And that was a knock on this time. And the ironic and sarcastic jeers of the crowd will tell you that that was right. John Griffiths to feed. Whitfield wants the scrum packed correctly. Obviously bringing them over onto the correct blade of grass as tempers getting a little heated. Well, needless to say, Paul Farber involved there. Obviously, certain little scores are to be settled from when he was playing here at Nosey Road, but Farber and Mark Lee, ex-Saints, in the pack there. The touch judge on the far side. Well, he's going to bring somebody over, isn't he? Paul Farber being brought back, along with captain David Young. and Ian Blease. So early moments of friction. The touch judge is in again. Who's been brought out from the Saints? John Neal. So referee Whitfield will be trying to calm these two sides down, but I don't know what gets up to in the scrum. Scrum down as before. Saints feed. John Griffiths brings it away. Lovely ball to Tommy Martin. Tries to keep it going, but the ball knocks forward. Mike Riley couldn't take it. Tommy Martin making his debut. Second scrum in quick succession. Michael Neal to feed. Salford take that one, move it to the right. Stephen Blakely, look for the half gap. Bounced off the first line of defence, but Tommy Martin wrapped him up. Stasiker swings it to the right. Salford still in possession, making 15 metres upfield. It's after line out. Captain David Young, big Welsh prop, comes in there. Bernard Dwyer stops him, but Phil Vevers comes in over the top. Blease. Well, the ball will have to be smothered. Blease was looking to release it. Quick play the ball now. Now is Scott Naylor. Last tackle of this sequence. Less than 20 metres from the Saints line. Mark Lee chipping it through. Tony Sullivan kicks it dead. It was meant for Phil Ford. Obviously a tactical ploy. Nearly paying off again. And Saints withstand the pressure. 7 minutes gone on the watch. And Saints will have to drop out from between the sticks. So Phil Vevers has signed a 1-year contract. Was looking for a 2-year deal, including a testimonial. He's plumped for the 1-year contract. Let's hope he gets quite a bit of first-team rugby. He's in his 10th season here at St Helens. He's played his requisite 300 matches and that deserves a benefit. Let's hope the club can grant him one. As Stasiker brings the ball up. Mark Lee attacked in half. Inside to Young. Now with the scrum half, passes it out to Blease. And Blease gets it back. It was Michael Neal that slipped it back. The tackle count wave clean as Farber slips the ball out to the right. Running out wide, typical Farber ploy. Blakely on to Gary Jack, linking up well. That's an obstruction, that. Jack let to go on it, passes it to Burgess. On to Mark Lee. Ducks under the tackle of Joint, but George Mann clamps him. And Joint comes back for another bite of the cherry. Salford looking lively. Moving it left, Jack again. Will have to be clamped. Tommy Martin does the job. Vevers, is it round the legs? Yes, it is. Stasiker. Ex-Wigan forward. Last tackle of the sequence. Michael Neal chips it, but it's going to be too deep. Bounced right on the dead ball line. So the clock stopped. Referee Whitfield must be wanting to speak to somebody. Paul Loughlin is, for whatever reason. Oh, he's just saying, I know it's your testimonial, Paul, and you can buy me a pint after, I think. Something of that nature. Because you can't imagine Paul Loughlin speaking out of turn, can you? One of the most placid players in the game. Well, Bernard Dwyer gets it away to Vevers. Good break by Vevers. 3-man Salford tackle. Bring him down. Blindside ploy as Salford are penalised for offside. Saints want to play it quickly. They should have done, because Salford had got penalised again. Adam Fogarty looking to be introduced. Blood bin substitution for John Neal. Nasty cut round the forehead there, the bridge of the nose. But it's all right now. He's been patched up, I think. Is referee Whitfield happy with it? No, obviously not. Yes, oh well, he must be. Everything's happy. Yes. Right, that's it. Let's get on with it. Looked a nasty cut there, but cleaned up by Jeanette Smith. I'm sure she's got very healing hands, Jeanette. Saints now on the charge. John Neal. Oh, tried to flick it back, and Salford come up with possession. Phil Ford has it. The idea right for Neal, and the man, the pack should be following the man in possession. He wasn't close enough that time. Neal had drove in, he took the tacklers and wanted to release it, but now it's with Farber for Salford. 11 minutes of the game gone, no score. Salford doing all the pressing at present. Chris Joint brings Burgess down. Neal for Salford. Well, forward pass there from Blease to Blakely. My word. On to Blease now. Chips it through. It'll find touch, and the scrum will be found on the 10-metre line. 10 metres in from touch and 10 metres from the Saints try line. John Griffiths will feed the scrum. John Neal still receiving treatment. Griffiths wins the heel. Quirk comes in. But good tackling from Burgess and Scott Naylor. George Mann looked very sharp in the early minutes for the Saints in attack. Dwyer Griffiths along the line. Chris Joint takes it out wide. A lot of hard tackling in this Salford side. Ball kicked downfield and the chase is on. Tony Sullivan on Gary Jack. Gary Jack, whoa, good tackling there by the Saints. He thought he was out of the woods there, did Jack. And Bernard Dwyer came through. And the Saints now look as though they've got the bit between the teeth, and they're going to have to hold Salford down at their end if they can. And referee Whitfield's penalised the Saints, lying on at the tackle, it looks like. So it's Steve Blakely with the penalty. Finds yardage on the main stand side, 10 metres short of the halfway line. Mark Lee will restart. Well, it's amazing the number of forward passes this referee's missed this afternoon, and we've only had 13 minutes of play. We know the game's fast, but not that fast surely for referee Whitfield. Salford keep it moving. Good play, Blakely has it. Looking to release again. Tommy Martin marshals him well. Martin anticipates well on Mark Lee. Dwyer takes Mark Lee down 10 metres inside the Saints half. And Salford again along the line. Gary Jack linking up. As Naylor loses his footing, he's forced back. It's the last tackle of the sequence. Blakely. Is he going to run dead? No, David Lyon has to play it. It wouldn't have run dead. Salford follow it up quickly. And Lyon's pegged 10 metres from his own line. Paul Loughlin. Good drive from Loughlin. Lyon was on his outside, couldn't release it. Another Salford player taking a knock there as Cooper gets things underway. Griffiths looking for that half gap. Drives it away and gives it to Chris Joint into space. Support needed. Cooper was on his right, but he couldn't release it. Good tackle by Farber. George Mann on the blind side. On to Mike Riley. Good tackling by Salford. Blakely and Naylor involved heavily there. Saints move it along the line. Lyon draws the man, brings it into Tony Sullivan. But good tackling. Good cover defence by Salford. Last tackle of the sequence. Tommy Martin chips it. And he's going to win the chase. Martin gathers it. Can he go round Jack? He can. He's driving forward. It's the last tackle. He releases it. The ball comes back. Oh, Stadiker has it. Salford now breaking. Neil onto Blease. Exciting rugby. Salford in possession. Les Quirk brought Blease down, but it's Salford again. Well, that must be a forward pass, surely, if Saints don't get the ball. Well, he's let that go. Slack play by Salford, and Saints just couldn't capitalise. Andy Burgess. The loose forward for Salford in possession. Tackle count wave clean. Saints tried to reap at the ball. Forber bringing it up. He releases it, and Salford move it again to the left. Long pass from Blease to Naylor. Tries to squeeze in between Riley and Griffiths. Saints under a lot of intense pressure. Phil Ford, well, just taken by George Mann. Neil, the halfback, feeds it inside to Steve Blakely. He passes it on to Andy Burgess. And Salford looking sharp. Blakely from acting halfback position gains valuable yardage. Salford bringing it left. David Young. Well, must be a knock on. George Mann comes up with possession. But the referee's not happy with it. He wants to scrum down. George Mann's just letting him know that he came up with ball possession. A lax pass from Salford. Another ball required. Obviously, Robin say it's underinflated. Cooper now out to Griffiths. Planned move from the base of the scrum. But Salford tackling is held firm. Les Quirk coming in. Big lad Quirk takes some pulling down as Bernard Dwyer tries to scamper away. That's 3 tackles there, and Saints have moved nowhere. They'll have to move it left. George Mann bouncing off the defenders. Salford urged to get back onside. Tommy Martin puts a deep kick in. Gary Jack will have to chase it. Can he cut it off? It bounces favourably and comes in field. Saints cover defence, move up. Prolific full-back, this Gary Jack, ex-Australian international. As Tex Evans comes in, he's banged down. Scott Naylor now has possession. Mark Lee, acting halfback. David Young. But Mann and Neil power in, bring Young down. Tip for tat, and Salford may just have, well, I would think the edge in this opening quarter. Nearly 19 minutes played, no score at present. The ball with Gary Jack on the 6th tackle. Tony Sullivan should take it on the full, he does clearly. Well, there's no way that Sullivan's been given 10 metres there. Referee Whitfield agrees with me that time. You could see clearly Sullivan caught it on the 20-metre line. Referee Whitfield was on the 10-metre line towards the centre and just waited till the Salford men come up and then duly penalised them. Bernard Dwyer onto John Neal. Neal turns in the tackle again, hoping to squeeze it out. Salford moving up quickly and lying offside. And as long as referee Whitfield lets them get away with it, they're going to do it, aren't they? Griffiths inside to Joint. He straightens it up, looks for the gap. Oh, Farber with a head-high tackle on Joint. And the pair clashed just a few minutes ago. And Farber came in with a good tackle on Joint. Or a hard tackle, I should say, and Joint just had a look at him. But Farber came in there again. Over the top. It's going to be a penalty to the Saints, and Loughlin should have a gift 2 points. Paul Loughlin kicked 2 goals last week at Craven Park, Hull, along with a Tirapati try, 2 Gus O'Donnell drop goals. O'Donnell on the bench today. Tirapati out with a strained Achilles tendon. As I said, the ever-present of last season, unfortunately, out in the second game of the season. To Paul Loughlin. About 17 metres out, more or less bang in front. Slots it between the uprights. Saints take the lead, 2-0. With Salford been doing all the pressing. Obviously a big job to lift the Saints, especially after last week. Real poor performance at Hull Kingston Rovers. You could see Parker, the very lively scrum half, was heavily involved in the first half, even though Saints were winning 9-4 at half time. But he had a hand in all the 3 tries, scoring the last one himself, even though I don't think Lydiard touched down for the first one, and the second one came off a forward pass, but the gaps were there, and that's the annoying part. It's controversial when they scored, but the gaps were there, and he wasn't closed down. But Saints break away quickly. George Mann, Mike Riley, Ford, well, Ford going in there. Not bad, eh? Forearm jab by Ford. John Neal driving it in. Goddard grafted his Neal. Big raw bone Cumbrian forward. And Saints nearly lost him to Salford. Last season, he was nearly going on loan to Salford. Saints had a forward crisis. Neal was drafted into the squad, and he's been an integral part more or less ever since. Gary Jack bringing it up. George Mann, along with Phil Weavers, haul him down. Now here's Phil Ford, exciting wingman, perhaps in the later stages of his career now, but he still can shift those legs a bit. Salford in possession, trailing by 2-0. 22 minutes of the game gone. There we go, Salford still throwing it about. David Young has it. Saints tacklers will have to get in 2s and 3s and bang these men down. Make the tackles count and make them hurt. Get these men bruised. Farber will play it along to Michael Neal. The ball back to Steve Blakely. He kicks it deep upfield. Sits up for Tony Sullivan in the in-goal area. Lyon loops round him. And Sullivan tries to shimmy and go through the defence. But he's well taken there by Burgess. Couldn't take Bernard Dwyer then. Dwyer still driving forward. George Mann gets the ball away. Bernard Dwyer back to Shane Cooper. Out to Mike Riley. Well covered was Riley there. A bit of a Sister Duffy pass, that one. Blindside from Cooper onto John Neal. Bounces off the first line. Looking for support from fellow Cumbrian Les Quirk. Quirk at dummy half. Pushes 2 off. Last tackle of the sequence. Tommy Martin boots it down over Phil Ford's head. Ford keeps it in field. He's a big stepper, he's Ford. He stepped away there. Gus O'Donnell on for Paul Loughlin. Whether Paul Laughlin's having trouble with that arm. Did have a bruised arm last week at Kingston Rovers. And Gus O'Donnell's on, Paul Loughlin in the dugout. I think Tommy Martin's been switched to the centre. And Salford with a deep kick. Finds touch right in the far corner. They scrum down with the Saints feed. 10 metres from the Saints line again. O'Donnell to scrum half. Griffiths to stand off. O'Donnell feeds. Makes the gap. Oh, head tackle again there. My word. Salford moving up quickly and all offside on the referee's right.